In this video, I'm going to show you how to troubleshoot the fiber optic lines for the Audi A5 2010 with the multimedia player, which is very similar to the A6 or the Q7 or Q5 with the multimedia player. The common problem with this one, the display becomes dark and then there is no sound, and you have to find out which component is causing the issue. It could be the multimedia player or the components in the trunk, such as amplifier or the tuner module. In the first step, you need to make sure that the multimedia player is alive and active, because if the multimedia player is dead and has no functions, and then obviously you won't have any sound and the display. One simple check to do this, you can insert you turn on the ignition and then you insert the disc into the multimedia player to see if it accepts. If it accepts and it ejects fine, then you know multimedia player is not dead. And then if you turn on the ignition, and then once in a while you should be able to see on the screen it says MMI, and then quickly it shows you please wait, and the display goes away. That will tell you that the monitor is okay too. And the next step, you're going to go and check in the trunk to see what else could be causing the issue. This is the trunk of the car, and assuming that the multimedia player is good and the monitor is good and the screen is still black, so the problem must be in the trunk. So to troubleshoot this issue, what you need to do, you need to remove both of the fiber optic connectors from the tuner module on the bottom and the amplifier on the top. On some cars, they have maybe extra options. They might have another module, which this car doesn't have that options. So you might have 3 modules instead of 2. And as you can see, these are the fiber optic connectors, and none of them are blinking. They should be blinking red because they time out. Suppose if you go turn on the ignition, they are gonna start blink. One of them is going to start blink, and then after a while it stops blinking because it time out, because no equipment hooked up, so no more blinking. So what you need to disconnect these two, and then you go back into inside the vehicle, turn on the ignition, and then you come back to the trunk, and one of them should be blinking red. See, I turned the ignition off and then turn it back on, and I got my blinking light back in here. As you can see, I bypassed both of the fiber optic connector with this loop. Now we are going to go back inside the vehicle and then check to see if we get your screen back or not. It usually takes like about 30 seconds to initialize. And here you go, we got our display back, and it says please wait, because it's trying to recognize all the modules in the trunk. So now we have to find out the problem is caused by the amplifier or the tuner module. We can hook them back on one at a time to see which one is causing the problem. And we should get a radio station. Here you go, the radio station. And now can change all the function, but you have no sound because the amplifier is bypassed. So we're going to hook up the amplifier back in the line. Now here we are going to remove the jumper and put the amplifier back in the line, and we go back inside the vehicle to see if we get our audio or not. And here we are going to turn on the ignition again to see if we have audio or not. So right now the amplifier is back into the line, but we still have no image, and the sound did not come back on. That means the amplifier was faulty.